Yes, secret sneakers do exist, and I bought every pair I could get my hands on. And today we're going to be taking a look at them and trying to figure out why they're a secret and why they don't want you buying them. Could be potential lawsuits, avoiding backlash, or just secret market testing. Let's find out. Okay, so most, if not all, of the sneakers in today's video you have probably never seen before. And that's because for years now, Adidas has been making specific shoes just for China. Now, most brands do exclusive colorways for different regions around the world. Those models still exist everywhere else. It's stuff that you can buy globally, but not Adidas. And I think when you see some of these, you'll see why. First one up comes in this giant box, and in here is the Adidas MTW, or Meta Wave. So Adidas in Hong Kong sells these for 1,199 Hong Kong dollars, or I don't know, whatever you call it. And that's roughly about 150 US dollars. Now, the interesting part is that the design of this pair of shoes is very similar to Balenciaga's. It looks just like the Balenciaga 6XL, or maybe even their platform shoes, just less crazy and a little bit more normal sized, even though these, compared to like a regular shoe, it's still a very massive chunky sneaker. And these looking like Balenciaga could be a big reason why they're not selling these things everywhere in the world. You see, China's IP laws are enforced very differently compared to the rest of the world, like the US or Europe. And the main reason is that their laws definitely favor local companies. And this is a large reason why knockoff designs are so much more common there than the rest of the Western market. So what this means is that unless the shoe has the exact logo or name copied, then it's a lot harder to actually take legal action. Now, lawsuits over there also move pretty slowly and oftentimes fail. So even if Balenciaga wanted to sue Adidas for the design of this pair of shoes, they probably wouldn't even bother. But hey, maybe if Adidas did decide to release these things globally, Balenciaga might come after them. Who knows? But what we need to find out is if Adidas should actually do it. How good are these things? And to do that, well, let's go try these things on. First up, we got the Adidas MTW or Meta Wave. I'm not entirely sure. It says MTW on the box and like the tag, but then online, a lot of pages were calling them Meta Wave. Either way, I mean, the colorway is literally the Balenciaga colorway, like the platform shoes. It's like identical. Let's try these things on. And if they're gonna be a pair of shoes that I should say, stop keeping secrets, Adidas, release these things globally, it's gotta be comfortable, it's gotta feel right for the retail price, and it's gotta be a good pair of shoes. First off, I will say, comfy. They got I think it's Light Strike and Dream Strike cushioning that Adidas put in here. Light Strike, we know, we've got plenty of sneakers with that. Cushy, very, very nice. I think it's made for like baggier styles. So like if you unzip this a little bit, yeah, if you get like the shoe covered up, like that looks pretty dope. That's not bad. That is really not bad. Very, very wide. You feel like ultimately stable in these things. I'm kind of digging them. I'm not gonna lie. They're kind of cool. I definitely see why people would like these things, especially in the right color, which this is a nice color, but it's not my favorite. I've seen better ones, like the white ones or the gray ones. Those are pretty dope. But you know what, Adidas? I think these are pretty cool. What are you doing? Not telling us about these. Like, release them. They've got like a really nice roll to them, like walking around. Be a little bit big for like shorts. Like if I had shorts, actually they're not even bad. Like they're not even, this is like a sleek design. Like they're chunky, but they're not like bulbous and massive. They're like pretty sleek. I'm gonna give these a big old Adidas, stop keeping these a secret, release them. Next up, we have a pair of shoes that looks even more like Balenciaga's than the last one, and that is the Adidas XLG Runner. We got them in two different colorways, and this is actually one of the most popular shoes in China. So if Adidas did decide to take a risk and release them globally, this is probably the model they would do it with. These cost 1,299 Hong Kong dollars, which roughly translates to about 165 US dollars. And of course, this one is damn near identical to a pair of Balenciaga track sneakers or the 3XL. Kind of a mix between both. They even have some colorways of this pair of shoes with a bunch of distressing and like the laces wrapping around the shoe, which is like a known Balenciaga thing, you know, dirty ass sneakers. Yeah, I feel like this model definitely has the strongest case for a Balenciaga lawsuit. But even if Balenciaga couldn't actually sue them for this, the looks itself would definitely get a lot of backlash if they did release it globally, at least what I would assume, because everybody looking at this pair of shoes immediately thinks Balenciaga. So by keeping them just in China and hardly anybody actually knows that these things even exist, does that help them avoid backlash? Maybe. But what if these things are so good that we really want them? Well, let's try them on. This is the Adidas XLG Runner, a pair of shoes that we did a little unboxing on. I showcased them when I first got them in. I did get these in China. So you know what? I'm gonna say it. I really like these things. Now these are chunkier than the other ones. These are pretty massive. But yeah, these are definitely a wide pant type of shoe. Like, I don't think you can be wearing skinnies with them. Even shorts is like, you know, you got smaller calves, you might want to give these a miss. The right pants, you know, something like this, it's not like overly baggy, it's just a pair of like ski pants that they work perfectly. Look how dope that is. Now the thing is about these, they are the most expensive out of all of them, but what you are getting for that is a very well made pair of shoes. Like, the materials feel nice and premium. They are ultimately soft underneath. Like, there's no boost, but they still manage to make them super comfy, super cozy. I like these things a lot, and I have no idea what's up with Adidas, but if I had to guess, I'm saying they're a little bit afraid of a Balenciaga lawsuit, or people just being like, yo, those are straight up Balenciaga rips. Don't be afraid, Adidas. Drop these things. Like, it's not just the sole that's super, you know, soft and nice and cushioned, but it's also like the padding that you get around here is super thick. Like, there's a ton of it. The tongue is nice and puffy. Yes, very extra bulbous design. Like, it is super chunky, but I think if you like these things, I feel like the rest of the world is gonna like these things. Like, they're popular in China for a reason. People love them. I think the rest of the world will. Adidas, stop hiding from us, goddammit. We need these things. Right, these next ones are weird. This is the Adidas Wonder Runner, a sneaker that has been leaked and promoted and rumored for years. I think the first time I saw these things was like through a blog back in 2023. But of course, we never saw a release, just it went dark. I mean, there was even leaks of like a pro version of this called the Adidas Wonder Runner Pro, and those things look sick. They have this exposed foam, which is incredibly soft with this like rubber cage around it, which I think looks so unique. These retail for 1,099 Hong Kong dollars, roughly translates to about 140 US. So why the hell didn't Adidas release these, especially with the amount of blogs that were posting about this pair of shoes, saying that they were going to be dropping in 2024, like this was the next big sneaker to release? Well, just like the rest, it does definitely take some guesswork. But if Adidas isn't afraid of a lawsuit, and if they're not afraid of backlash, they're not trying to avoid that, what they could be doing is market testing. So they released this model out in China, see how people kind of respond to it, how many sales, you know, go out. They see all of the blogs around the rest of the world posting about them. They get a real feeling about how people like these things or not, and then they potentially could just release them globally. Now, these little region exclusive market tests have definitely been done before. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did eventually get a release for this pair of shoes, or even that pro version. But at the same time, with the amount of other exclusive shoes that are just available in China, I also wouldn't be surprised if we never see these things. We're going to be trying them on anyway. All right, we got the Adidas Wonder Runner. Now, this is a pair of shoes. I've never tried these things on yet. We're gonna do that together. But I will say I was very excited when I saw the blogs posting about these, because I was like, damn, that's a very good looking pair of shoes. Like, it looks cool, it looks different, it's weird. I kind of like it. So let's see what these feel like on foot, and if Adidas should release them, or just, you know, keep them in China. Okay, yeah, so just as expected, that foam is soft, and it's also kind of, it's kind of soft over here. It's not too bad. I think they look cool. That like weird midsole thing that's going on, it's definitely not as chunky as the other ones. Like, by far, this is one of the more sleeker pairs, but this is a real nice fit. The upper is like this padded material, so that feels nice. This is a dope model, and I don't think the price is too bad either. You know, converting it into US dollars, they almost feel like they have some kind of trail elements to them. Like, it's a pretty aggressive outsole, so maybe there's some trail elements there. I'm feeling these. Adidas, I was excited about them. They live up to it. They fit nice. It's a comfy pair of shoes. It's not gonna blow your mind. Like, I could definitely wear these on a regular basis. This is the kind of puffier upper I was talking about. Like, it's got these lines in it, which is really nice. This kind of looks like a, you know, a Chinese New Year colorway, if I had to guess, because of like the gold over here, or the brown, and then the red. Crazy embroidery work that's on the material over there. This is a nice pair of shoes. Adidas, release them. Next up is a version of a sneaker that we actually do have. This is the Adidas Adistar XLG. And the Adistar is a pair of shoes that, again, like I said, you can go on Adidas's website and buy multiple different versions of. And the XLG thing is something that is also kind of available everywhere. Adidas does it with the XLG Samba or the XLG Gazelle. It's basically their naming scheme for a version of an existing model that is just extra large, so a little bit more chunky. These retail for $6.99 Hong Kong dollars, which roughly translates to about $60 US. I paid a lot less when I bought these at an Adidas outlet in China. But either way, if the XLG, Sambas, and Gazelles are available everywhere, why the hell aren't these? Well, another reason on top of all of the other ones could just be Chinese fashion trends. They usually favor a lot of chunky and higher fashion designs, and this could just be a way of Adidas catering to those markets by releasing models like this. But at the same time, I'm not really convinced by that, because I just don't really buy that these wouldn't be popular if they released globally. There's so many different chunky sneakers that are incredibly popular. And in fact, Pharrell and Nike are just about to release this new sneaker model called the Jellyfish, which is based off of the exact same model, the Adistar. I would argue that these almost look identical to those with a lot of the same tooling. It's just the other one has some different uppers with like the plastic and the rubber sticking out from the side. So if they're dropping those globally, why not these? Let's try them on. All right, I think this is the cheapest out of all of them, the Adistar XLG. Now, huge fan of the Adistar line, like a lot of different models from Adidas. They do like the Adistar Cushion, huge fan of that. It's like a retro runner. Adistar 3 is like one of their most comfortable shoes, like insanely good. But these, well, I mean, obviously I've tried them out, okay? So I bought these in China, so I know what they feel like, but I will show you guys what they look like on foot. And then I'll tell you what I actually think about them. And if Adidas should release them, they do look good. That's what I will say. It's like a, you know, a chunky version of a retro runner. And I'm here for it. I really like the look of them. However, they're mad uncomfortable. Adidas, where you put your foam, you just put straight up brick underneath here. Like, this is so solid, it's not cushy at all. And there is definitely, like, it is the cheapest model, but there is also a cheap feel about them. Like, they don't feel very great quality. They look really good though. And that's why I got them. Like, I'll sacrifice a little bit of comfort for the way that they look, but these wouldn't be the shoes that I, you know, pick up if I'm gonna be on my feet all day, because they do feel pretty hard. Even just the footbed itself doesn't feel like it just, you know, molds to your foot or anything. It's not my favorite feeling pair of shoes, but it's nice. It looks dope. But if I did have to be honest, you know what, Adidas? Keep them in China. I don't mind. I think if we're gonna be getting those Pharrell Jellyfishes, it's basically the same shoe, just a slightly different design with the upper. And I hope they do those better. They execute them in a little bit more of a premium fashion. I mean, I've heard the retail price on those is gonna be like $250, so they better be damn premium. But for this version, it's just not comfortable enough. It feels very, very solid underfoot. And I don't know, I wouldn't recommend them unless you're really okay with not very comfortable shoes. Adidas, you're good. Keep these a secret. And finally, we got these. This is the Adidas Climacool Vento 3.0. And this one is just plain old confusing. It doesn't really fit any of the other potential explanations. You see, this is a Climacool 3.0. The 1.0 and the 2.0 are both available globally. So Adidas just randomly decided that the third version is something they don't want to talk about. Now, it could be that these have a very similar explanation to the XLG runner, because the design is damn near identical, especially in the midsole. It's just the much beefier version. But these do seem to be a lot more geared towards performance. One thing that these have that these do not have is boost. They're also obviously not super massive and chunky. But hey, let's try this final Climacool version on and see if we should have got the latest version. All right, finally we have the Climacool Vento. One of the weirder ones, because it's like, what the hell? Why would you release a third version that is just nowhere to be found? People who are fans of the Climacool range, they're gonna be like, well, where the hell is the next one? You know, we've got the 1.0, the 2.0, where's the 3.0? Well, let's see what these are all about. So this is definitely more of a traditional style. Like, it's a lot, you know, more of a normal shoe footprint, as in like, it's not massive, it's not super chunky. So there is that, and I can see that being maybe a little bit more like, if we are saying, hey, some of these chunkier designs are just too much, you might want to look at these. And these also have boost, so are they more comfortable than the other ones. Does Boost make the difference? I mean, they're a lot lighter. They're very breathable. That's why they are part of the Climate Cool range. That does make them feel good. And yes, they are very comfy. I think, is it softer? It actually might be. Yeah, it is softer than the XLG version. These are squishy, light. This is a great shoe. It feels great. Yeah, I'm a fan of them. I think this is like, you know, maybe if you weren't a fan of like how chunky the XLGs were, this is a perfect midpoint. You've got that cool shaped midsole, but you don't have the super chunky look. The upper is very basic. It's pretty much just a standard, you know, Adidas model. Very comfy though. Like I could get used to this walking around. Like that is very comfy. This one definitely makes the least sense to me. Like, why didn't Adidas release these? I have not a clue, because it's a pretty standard model. The argument of like these bulky, chunky shoes are only like, you know, China only likes them, that goes out the window with this one. Why isn't this one released? That I do not understand. Again, one of the other explanations, don't want to get a lawsuit or something like that, maybe, but I don't think these look like Balenciagas at all. Maybe they do, I don't know, you let me know down in the comment section, but Adidas, I would definitely release these because I feel like it could be a nice, comfortable, affordable model that you offer around the world. I don't know why they haven't, but there you go. Adidas, stop hiding these things, drop them. But there you have it, all of Adidas's weird, secret shoes that we have now brought to light. Let me know which one you think Adidas should release, or maybe they should release them all. Which one's your favorite? And let me know what you think Adidas is playing at. Why are they trying to keep all of these shoes a secret? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. And as always, if you want to catch another video, just click that one right over there. It's just there, sitting there, waiting for you.